Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident podcast. It is a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. On this episode, we are joined by Sambaza, host and creator of the Sambaza podcast. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident podcast, a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. Welcome, and you also may be catching us on J Moore Reviews YouTube. So if you are catching us on J Moore Reviews, welcome. This is Woke by Accident podcast. Let's introduce our co-host, Sambaza, host and creator of the Sambaza podcast, a remarkable figure in the podcasting world who hails from Kenya. He has garnered 3 nominations for Best African Diaspora Podcast and has been a presenter at Afro's Audio Podcast Festival. Welcome, Sambaza.
Hey, Jen, how you doing today?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
How was
Excited
it?
about our... Excellent. Very good. Excited about the episode. Everything good with the family?
Yeah, how's the doggy doing? I saw the
Doggy
video.
is doing... She's doing really good. I had a new therapy session. So
I've never seen baby therapy. But what's up? What's with that?
So it's a treadmill tank, and they fill up the tank with water, and the dog, paddles, and it soothes the muscles, which heals since the surgery. So, and I actually had a dog brand reach out to me on my TikTok. So fingers crossed for the doggy brand. So we trying to get brand deals out here.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm
talking about. Look. It's a thing. We will get some brand deals one way, come hell or high water. We will get some brand deals. Okay.
Right.
We have
it was a great weekend for me. I did an event. Actually, I was an MC it was an African cultural festival at Kaufman County in Dallas, Texas. That's what we're doing here. And it was great. We had all the countries show up. They had dances and speeches. I'll put it up here in a little bit in sometime soon, and then people will see what the African culture is. But people showed up. Yeah. And then I got to give a shout out because they said they were going to be here. There was a business. It was called, they have actually a new business. It's called Amora Natural Cocktail. And they make these fresh juices to your health with Amora's Natural Cocktail. You can call them on 952-975-961-9619. Again, it's 952-975-9619. And I'll put
what's the name of it?
It's called Amora Natural Cocktails. They just started business real new, so they just came around. And also the owner is called Abigail Osei Anor. That's the business name. Real good people. They have a drink called Zobo. You drink it like this, it goes to your chest. It kind of clears your chest. Ginger and hibiscus tea. That's what it is made of. Yeah. So yeah, I had to give them a shout out because they were great people, and I promised them that I would.
Shout out to that. And we'll also include the link in the show notes too. So that's what's up. All right, and then
again, we want to know let people know that we're also online on Clubhouse. So
yes,
if they're going there,
yeah, we are big Clubhousers. I know some people are probably saying, "What's that?" But yeah, it is another social media called Clubhouse, and so great audio app, and we spend a lot of time there actually. So please share the affirmation, Sambaza.
Oh yeah, the affirmation for today. Here we go. It says, and this is goes with the mental health month that is ending today. I am prepared to work and succeed on merit. The world owes me nothing. I'll repeat that again for people at the back to hear. I am prepared to work and succeed on merit. The world owes me nothing.
Okay, that's what's up. Thank you for sharing the affirmation. We definitely try to promote positive mental health behaviors. And so we will always bring you affirmation. And we are excited to introduce our guests if we are ready to do that. All right, let's get to it. So, our next guest is a actor, comedian, best known for his reoccurring role as the Kingpin Rojas in this TV series Power Book 4 Force, and he has appeared in other projects such as Showtime's Work in Progress and Sicario, The Day of the Soldado. Our guest combines his comedic talent with dramatic roles, showcasing versatility in both genre. He also hosts the podcast J Moore Reviews with a growing subscriber base and is active on YouTube. We are streaming on J Moore Reviews right now. And please welcome J Moore.
Hey, 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 thank you. You make it sound good. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Welcome.
thank you,
Welcome.
thank you. Appreciate it, and I like that intro. Feel like a old school news vibe. Like a good information.
Yeah. Yeah.
We always try to make you look great when you come to our show. So before we start, I usually have this unique thing that I do. I go through the African countries, and I select a country where we pick an African proverb. Today we're going to feature Cameroon. Now, Cameroon is a remarkable country, home to every climate zone in Africa, from tropical rainforest to the savannah. Excuse me. Mount Cameroon is the tallest peak in the sub-Saharan Africa and is an active volcano. Cameroon boasts of the world's largest frog, the Goliath,
Mm.
and a hotspot for over 1,000 butterfly species, and the lion is their national anthem. Now, Cameroon made history in football, that is soccer, being the first African team to reach the FIFA World Cup quarterfinals. That was a long time ago, though. Now, to the proverb, it says, okay, your homeland river will serve you water despite its dirtiness, which means your local river will serve you water despite its dirtiness, or
That's a
despite
good
its
thing.
So,
Give it
how
to
do
you.
you interpret that proverb, Jay?
Well, of course, you see, I'm always gonna see a funny side and everything naturally. But yeah, just you go home, you're always welcome, even if what
Hmm.
they have ain't really, the best. You always feel like home. That's something that's a human trait I've thought about. One thing I
Mhm.
always like is why the psychology of people and do things. And you'll
Mhm.
say, like they say, no place like home. You could come from hard places and people can move and go to better places in life, but they'll always have fond memories of that home growing up at that hard place. Or we didn't have this, or it was this or that. So, and you can always look to that to give you strength in a way. It may not be the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey man, we had it hard. We had to, you know, walk this far to school, or we didn't
Mhm.
have running water. But now, yeah, I had a hard day at work, but at least it's not like it was then, and even going back to that can give you some refreshing water in your mental state to now deal with this hard time you going with today and realize, okay, it ain't as bad. Even when I today had a
Mhm.
nice little meal, I was ready to eat, just warmed it up. I was about to put it on the table and it fell off my leg on the floor. I didn't take one bite.
You're
Fell right, fell
kidding.
right there live on camera. Watch the rest of the video. You see me. At
Oh
the
no.
end of the video, let me tell you, it wasn't no more talking after that for a while. But
Oh
I
man.
realized, yeah, mm,
Oh man, that's crazy.
it's been
But
harder days when I
you're
had to
on
eat
point though.
hospital food, nothing else. So I had to,
That's true. That's true.
but
Yeah.
that was hard to see it fall right there. Just I was right there.
Oh wow.
All right.
But hey,
Well, that was on point though. That was on point about the proverb. Um, so we'll start off by asking you to share a little bit about yourself. and what inspired you to become a content creator?
Okay. Well, I never aspired to be a content creator. Never tried. And not saying like, oh, this is this. No, it was not on my radar.
Mhm.
Um, my son actually but so that's the thing, like Proverbs, and why it's so important is because if you do have something that you believe in and say and do, if it's true, it'll come back to you. And it's like the same thing that'll reteach you. So one
Mhm.
thing that I would do with my son is I always tell him to learn by example as well as other people example. So you don't have to go through it. And
Right.
my father has an old mentality, not because he's older, but because my mother doesn't have this mentality, but he has a mentality of a closed-minded. Did you go to school for it? You don't know nothing about it. I'm this way. I've know this. I'm not learning
Mm.
nothing else. And I tell my son, you never stop learning. You
That's
all
right.
learn new things. As long as you're alive, you will learn. Never close your mind off to saying something.
Mhm.
So me always teaching him that, it come a point where after being injured, I'm used to doing things the traditional way or acting or physical or regular, I wasn't
Mhm.
a person that used the computer at all for jobs or even thought about it. I looked at YouTube or I can use a computer, but not doing anything technical. And
Okay.
my son, he was about 12 at the time, and he was always big into YouTube. And I just naturally say stuff or whatever. So we watch movies and things, and I'll say, oh, look at this or that. The commentary people hear me say about these shows, I said that
Mhm.
anyway. I'm not rethinking something extra. This is just coming out. It's not rehearsed or written down. And he would always laugh or say, you should be on YouTube. You should do this. You should do that. And I'm saying, man, I don't know nothing about no YouTube. Then you say you ain't gonna stop learning. You should learn how to do it. I'm like, ain't that about a blip? So I'm like, all right, damn, he done gave me some homework. I'm like, all right, well, since I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not gonna just tank it though. But I don't know what
Mhm.
I'm doing, and I know it's millions of stuff. So I'm gonna make probably 3 or 4 or 5 videos. Nobody will watch it, and I'll be done. And I told him, hey, I tried, I learned it. This is how it goes. I
Mhm.
know. And I'm never stopped. It's like everybody started watching it and liking it and commenting. I'm like, oh no. Like they like this? I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. If you look at my first video, just like a little image in the corner. It's dark and blurry and it like 2 hours long for a 30-minute episode. It's like, how are people laughing and liking this? I didn't think of it that way. I didn't think of it as doing a monetize or a job or this.
Right.
And I just actually have not stopped.
That's what's up.
So I've just been going since then. I just didn't stop, but it was never, I'm going to be a content creator. I'm going to start a channel. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Now, as I've been on this journey, I
Mhm.
expanded or thought I'll do this, I'll do that, but it was never I'm gonna do this. And it's been 8 years now. So even 8 years ago,
Okay.
people weren't even doing YouTube channels really like that. It's really a
Right.
pandemic. Everybody started a
There you
podcast,
go.
and that was like 5 years ago. So I was already doing it for 3 years at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it was more of for my son and
Mhm.
to, reinforce proverbs and lessons in life and learn
Okay.
and lead by example. I just wanted to always lead by example. Like even after being injured, I didn't
Mhm.
like say, "Well, I can't take care of you no more," this or that. No, just because
Mhm.
things happen, you still have to take care of your responsibilities. And I wanted to show them that if things go bad or whatever, don't just give up or make excuses. You still have to keep going and make the most out of it. So all those things came back on me. And the number one thing that I really, really, really despise in life is a hypocrite.
Mhm.
I really don't like a hypocrite. And then I can't say or do something I wouldn't say or do. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't say or do things that I won't do or can't do. And if I can't, I'll say I can't or I won't. So I couldn't say never stop learning, do these things. And then when it come to me, oh, well, that don't apply to me, because
Right.
growing up, my dad did that a lot to me. Go to church. And I remember saying, why you don't go to church? Well, my church days are over, But as he got older, he tried to go to church or do whatever when he was in his 70s. Not to hold him to, everybody make mistakes or whatever, but that's something I still remember to this day from childhood.
Right.
So I know certain things that you may say in passing, not thinking much of, can really be I didn't say, I'm going to remember this day. I just did, you know what I mean? You just did. So, I don't want to have certain things, and I'm sure he still does, nobody perfect, but I tried my best to be a good example and show him, that I'm not a hypocrite.
Oh no, absolutely, and kudos to you for 8 years, in the game. This is definitely nothing to.
It's one of the longest things I ever did. I never worked a job 8 years. I don't think one job, one company, 8 years. Nope.
You got that plaque yet from YouTube?
Nope. You got 50,000 subscribers. So at one point I was really doing good, and then I mean, well, right after the pandemic, Lionsgate, the show that owns Power, flagged over 100 of my videos.
Oh no.
Saying that the pictures from the show were their material, even though I took the pictures myself, but they were saying it was there, and ever since then, my channel's pretty much died as the growth.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Wait, so is that after you was on the payroll?
Yeah, it was.
They was like, wait a minute.
Like, you ain't that vital. I don't know why they did that, because they didn't just do that to me. They did it to a bunch of people. Mark Dark, they did it to him during that time period.
Oh, okay.
I haven't talked to him since. I know he kept going with doing it the same way. And I was like, man, I ain't gonna keep doing that, because for me to make a video or doing this stuff, and then just for them they weren't taking it down. They were taking the monetization of it.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. So they like, go ahead and work. We'll just take all the money and profits.
And so you'll have to talk to us about how significant it is, because, Jay monetizes his YouTube, not just people sending a super chat, but, talk to us about that part of it.
At that time, I didn't do live streams so often.
Okay.
I was making videos. I'd maybe for one episode, maybe take between 800 to 1,000 pictures of the episode. I'd sort through the pictures, put them in order. Then I'd do a voiceover of the story. I wasn't even my face or anything on there. And you would just hear me talking about the show. And then that would take me probably from start to finish, maybe 6 to 8 hours of work.
Wow.
Yeah, so like I'm not doing 6 to 8 hours of work and then they take it away, and I was doing 3 to 4 videos a week. So then I just went to live stream. They can't do that to show face. And if I put one picture up or something, it's not the same. And this is only 1 or 2 hours of most, and that's it at that. I'm not going in through 1,000 images and doing this and putting their voiceover and then putting in overlays and transitions and doing and I learned all of this. I didn't learn this in school. I learned this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like all of this. I had to self-teach how to do all of this. I didn't have a background in this stuff at all. So learning all of this, and I was old. I wasn't in my 12s. I look at, I'm be 47 this year. So
okay, 47.
I'm almost 50 years old. So like I'm 38, 39 years old trying to learn computers and figure this out and do this and do that. And back hurting and leaning over and then laying there, fall asleep, taking med, doing this. Then they like, all right, thanks, we'll take it. I'm like, oh no.
Oh wow.
Oh
Okay.
no. Oh
What?
no. I can't even take that chance. I've been literally rolled up to YouTube in this mud. Straight up. I went up there once before. They didn't even let me in.
Really?
And this wasn't about, I was on good standing. This was in 2019, December. Like a month before, 2 months before the pandemic. And, I actually got it on video, but I never put it out because at the time I didn't think it was much to really show. I went there and they wouldn't let me in. I went there and they wouldn't let me in, and the security guard was following me. I'm in a wheelchair. Dude, you're a punk. You gonna beat me up? You gonna show me, right? You checked me.
Oh wow.
Dude, you whack, dude. Like what you thought?
Oh no.
Yeah, it's a couple little soft security guards.
Interesting. So since we mentioned the show, Sambaza, you wanna go ahead with?
Oh yeah. Speaking of the show, actually, a lot of people haven't we haven't discussed it. We just passed through it here. You did appear on the Stars Network series as the not so friendly neighborhood kingpin Rojas on Power 4, Force 2022 and 2023. And before that, you stirred things up on Showtime's Work in Progress. That was back in 2019. What did you learn from playing these unforgettable characters?
That
And
wasn't
how did you
2019, was it?
Yeah,
Was it? I think
No.
Well, hey,
You got me over here thinking, whoa, before the pandemic? But yeah. But no, that was two different roles that were I liked at the time, because one is you in the prison as a gangster, and the other in the office, just a regular worker with everybody. So it kind of showed the contrast. I don't have to just be one or the other. And one of the good things about working and on the show Work in Progress is meeting a lot of the people. They were all real nice and helpful and things. And then I had my son with me, and he was about 16, 17. So he got to be there. They treated him nice, allowed him to see the filming, and showed him a lot of the background jobs and things. So I was letting him know, hey, you don't always have to be in front of the camera. These are good jobs and things available too. So just showing them a lot of different opportunities and things. And so that was, pretty cool. I enjoyed that as well. And being in Chicago, that's where we had filmed it, as always. Back home and show him some of the places. And I was eating up a storm. I must have ate 6 pizzas.
So you kind of just rolled into this career of acting.
Well, I mean, I was acting and doing things all my life, all the school plays and singing, singing and all of that, and dancing. And I was an excellent dancer and break dancing. I used to do all the break dancing from like 5 years old, so I could see somebody do it and then just go do it like right away. And my mom used to have like fashion shows, and so me and my friends would like do the break dancing during the fashion show intermission on the stage things. And so I never had like a shyness. I never was like afraid or intimidated to talk to somebody. So like even one of my jobs, I was a supervisor at UPS when I was just 18, and I just didn't have a problem with speaking to people and different things. But I went to Columbia College as well, which is a liberal arts school, acting, drama, music, recording engineering, all type of different fields. So, and I was there in the mid 90s. And took classes and did all that stuff. So, and then do other projects in Chicago and things. So It's just that I guess it's a lot of people going for stuff that may be looking similar. And after being injured, I didn't think, I was like, well, I'm not going to be going here or there to these auditions and things or waiting in line and this and that. So I was thinking, no, I ain't going to do that. But then it just coincides with Zoom and all these other things where now we do most auditions through Zoom.
Right.
Now I can do auditions for New York, Chicago, LA, wherever, and I don't have to go there. I can be here now and do it. So now that it helped me for one. And then two, with the diversity and they trying to have more inclusion in things. I know they try to make it all seem like a bad thing, but would a person rather have a regular actor sit in the chair or have it real and have somebody that act and is actually injured, give them a chance? And so, I mean, I can see both sides of it. It's acting, so you can act like you injured. That the whole thing, none of it's real. Like, I'm not really in prison, so I acted like that.
Okay.
I get that, but also, I mean, why not?
That's a good point.
Yeah,
and that kind of
why not? You know,
right, goes to your next question, Sambaza. That's kind of a
and how did you prepare for these roles? And you just glanced off a little bit about the Rojas, because you don't, from the way we've started talking, you don't look like a mean guy. So
oh, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. He was mean now.
So how did you prepare for these roles, and what did you learn after the whole process was done?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, me, I just think of that character and what they're going through, and then and it really helps when you're on set, because then you can kind of feel it. But me personally, I think it goes back to childhood. When I was a kid, we had Nintendo and stuff, but I also played with toys, G.I. Joe. And so you have your toy G.I. Joes, they don't speak, they don't move. And you got to create scenarios and things for them to do. And then they all talk the same? Or do they have different voices? Do they act the same? Or do they have different? So I would begin to create all these characters and role plays and scenarios. And I had a lot of them in different things. And my mom, I would talk to her now. And I say, I bet you would laugh because you could hear me playing in the room with boom, boom, whatever, saying all these different voices. Hey, get over there. Hey, I ain't going to do this. Hey. And so you see, and she said, I'd be cracking up hearing you over in there playing, but it's imagination, and so all of that sparked imagination. One of the things that's bad with video games is it kills imagination because there's so much done for you. You're not thinking.
Right.
You have to create. It's all created for you. And then when you playing with friends online, it's always somebody to play with you. I played my games, but then if no friends is there or it's the same game I had, I got to entertain myself. As an only child, that's what I had to do. I didn't sit there and wait for a brother or sister or something. I figure out what's going to entertain me. I'm going to do this. I'll do that. I'll entertain myself. So I've always been a self-starter. Always didn't need somebody else to say, hey, let's do this, do that. I'll figure out what I want to do on my own. So it's like always been hard for me to join or follow stuff. Even like during the time with the gangs or during time with college frats or joining different organizations. I just always had problems with following and joining.
Oh, interesting. When you talked about the G.I. Joes, that stuff, we used to do the same thing. We used to play around. But right now, and I noticed with my son, when he plays the games, he's always screaming at the game. So
my son too.
Interaction. See, there's a difference here. They're not having this interaction where maybe they're going to talk to somebody on screen. No, it's either a fight or because he's not playing with somebody else, he's going to be playing against the computer.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, dude, what is going on?
Because kids do that too, where they talk to people.
Yeah, well, they're learning how to interact, but I never screamed or yelled at myself when I was playing G.I. Joes. What are you doing? Why am I not making them fight? You got a good point. Why would this stuff plays with your mind in a different way that I don't think we all fully understand. This stuff is moving so fast before we get to it. They say by 2027, we all in trouble, you know. That's when they said, you said, you know what I'm talking about? With AI and how everything is going to be.
Oh.
Well, no, how it'll be able to replace pretty much almost every job that people do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's getting close now. And now they have it where it can even generate people that
absolutely
that is us, you know, so and can speak as fast and say this. People start creating podcasts with interesting people. They're not even real people, and people will be watching movies with actors that aren't even real actors. The studios, that's why they had the strike. They don't want any actors anymore. Why pay them at all? We could just generate good-looking people that people will watch movies, and that's our fault because we shouldn't watch that stuff. But
exactly,
they got AI generated Instagram models, and you can message them, and they'll message you back, and they'll do all this stuff. Well, why would you watch a real Instagram model? People thought they were being there'll be a lot of Instagram models out of business pretty soon. You thought they was being exploited. They're gonna be begging for you to watch them.
Exactly.
Don't look at AI, look at us. You know, and then they have these robots that get more and more lifelike, and so I mean, it's no way you can beat them right now. As far as some of the models, like you can push it or kick it, it won't fall over. The body frame, you can hit it with a bat, it'll break the bat on the thing. I watched a video today showing a new model, and Tesla Optimus and stuff. Once they put in that AI that's out here now, all they're gonna do is put it in there. Then they'll start to people say, well, we do this. They'll have the robots build the robots. So people say, well, yeah, you got to get a job fixing robots. Ain't no job for that. They'll have them do that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They say,
yeah,
job repairing them. You're not smart enough. They have AI that's smarter than you, that doesn't need any money, doesn't want any health care, doesn't gonna show up late or complain or talk about your kids or, well, my kids come first and I gotta do. No, go sit with them. And this in 2 years. 2 years.
I mean, Shaq walked up with a dog on the show.
I saw that. Yeah,
and that's all propaganda, because people like Shaq got their $500 million or whatever. See what I'm saying? So they'll promote this stuff, and then we'll say, well, Shaq, it was cool, and we didn't go and protest and do what we should be doing. And why are they building it? Now, I get it to a certain extent. They kind of have to, because when you get into this, when China, for example, is building it, then if you decide not to, then what, you're going to let them have the most power? And then what if they decide to make them into robots, machine, go to war or something? Make a robot factory that's consistently making this and pumping this out. And so you got to kind of do it.
Wow. You got to have a balance. You got to have a balance. Yeah.
Well, that's scary out here. That's what I'd be worried about. I can't even run away.
Look,
just stop. They got me.
Oh no! But you know, what I was gonna say. So you obviously feel some type of way about AI, but a lot of creators use AI as tools.
I use it too.
Okay, all right. I was just gonna say
reluctantly, but it's too expensive hiring people, and people don't want to show up, or they want this or that, or I'm spending $1,000 on Fiverr. You can't even call and talk to them, or message and do this. Well, I can get an AI program for $200 to do the same thing for the whole year, for 2 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so like, well, I'm like, why would I pay him $1,000 for each? Like, $50 for this project, $30 for this project, and the message back and forth, do that. When the AI just does it all for $200 for lifetime, or it's for the year or lifetime, whatever. So it's like a no-brainer. And now they got a new AI, because I've been wanting a personal assistant, but then that's expensive. And then I can get an AI assistant that emails people, do all kinds of stuff. and it's only like I think $60 for the program for life. So
Wow.
like they're pricing people out. It's not even expensive.
Absolutely.
And
When
then
it
why
goes
would
down,
somebody go back?
when it goes down, that's when you realize, oops, I need a human being.
That's true. That's true.
Mm.
You know what we really need is more plumbers and electricians and carpenters, because when your toilet stopped up, you waiting on AI, you need somebody there. Let me tell you something. Them
Exactly.
turds, that's brown gold, okay? Because it's a shortage of these people out here, because everybody's been taught these are dirty jobs. Go get a degree where you start off as a plumber right now. You could pull in 6 figures in your first year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then it's a shortage of you. So here's the thing. It's this $1 million house over here. They got they poop flowing. And it's this little $100,000 house here, poop flowing. Now they want to give me $1,000 and you want to give me my going rate of $100 an hour. Who you think I'm going to? And then you sit with this more and more and more and more and more, and you still can't afford it.
Right.
And then that's going to be another thing that's happening, because a lot of the infrastructure is old in here too, and a lot of people, you know, can look it up. We need those people, and whoo,
yeah. Hey, Jen, we gotta give props to our comments over here. The comment section.
We do. Shout out to the
chat. Yeah, we appreciate you guys coming in. Jen, where do we start off from?
At least acknowledge from the top.
Yeah, I want to go back to the top.
Okay.
Go to the top. Yeah.
Are you there?
Oh,
yeah, we had Rashonda Greer said hi, and then J Moore reviews. It must be you. Everybody else.
Yeah, that's me.
Damien Kenny said hey and said I like the jazz intro. We appreciate that. Damien is saying your dog is getting better treatment than me. Oh.
Your dog get good treatment, Jen.
He's talking about the infamous Clubhouse app, and then let's see, we went through the affirmation and the proverb. Damien says, I think it means appreciate these blessings around you before you search abroad. That's awesome. Nice. And Ed is here. Peace and gratitude. Thank you, Ed. And the healing session, heal, power, empower, and heal, empower, and release. The healing session. Denise is here. So Damien says, everybody hit the like button. I was right. It was 2019. Somebody here says, I'm proud. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. So sorry. Proud of you, son. Is that you?
No.
Okay.
There are people.
There are other people. Okay. Family coming through. So Damien says the movie Terminator is becoming real. Okay. Then you got Young Slim here.
Okay, here we go.
Yo, Jay.
Yo.
John
Young
Connor.
Slim. Yeah, that's Young Slim.
Okay.
And then Denise says, hey, absolutely true. We need more trades. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for keeping the chat
That's
alive.
something I would have liked. I just was under that. The trades, I liked building or working with my hands, although I didn't like to get dirty, and I'm not going to say that I would have liked it. I like the self-control.
Okay.
You know, the ownership of my business, my destiny. If I want more money, I can expand or whatever, you know, and raise the rate, whatever. I like that aspect of it. I don't like the dirty jobs, though. I ain't gonna lie about that.
Okay.
I don't even like to change my own oil, but I like to know how to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I wouldn't have done it. But I went down that route of college before I really knew. I did kind of know, but didn't know. And with debt attached to college, I don't think anybody should go into college unless they know what they're doing. This is costs too much.
Or if they got a free ride.
Unless they got a free ride, and ride, baby, ride. Do not stop until it's over. Like I told my son, don't mess it up. He got a full ride scholarship to IUPUI.
Good. Congrats.
So tell him, don't mess that up.
Absolutely. I think it's my turn. So I was going to ask you what medium you prefer right now, or what's your favorite, maybe acting, comedian, or podcasting.
That's a really good question. Hmm. I have to say, I like them all for different reasons. I think
Mhm.
podcast is probably the most natural. It's like I'm
Okay.
not doing anything, just
Mhm.
being myself. I'm just talking.
Right.
So that's probably the best to me. I can just be myself, not memorizing stuff or doing anything. And that seems like people like that, so that's great. But
Yeah.
as
Mhm.
far as fun, I do like the comedy on the stage, stand-up comedy, and
Mhm.
doing that. But I would have rather done it not being injured. One of the things that I tell my son is like, don't be your own worst enemy. Like we talk ourselves out of a lot of stuff in life and say, well, I
Mhm.
wait for this or I ain't ready or da 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 da, instead of just starting. And I've delayed so long with that I wish I would have started when I was 18 or 20, although I don't know. But I was a more active physical person and doing impressions and stuff. So
Mhm.
sitting still and saying that is I would have been moving around or
Mhm.
not necessarily falling around type stuff, but I would have been a
Mhm.
lot different than this. But this is cool, but I like it in a different way. And then acting is totally different. That's a job, though.
Mhm.
I like it, but that's the most work too. Um, that's a lot of work, and I like it, but it's really fun when you're doing a project you really like. So,
Right.
Power or even Work in Progress, I like that. We did an episode with Weird Al was in it and
Okay.
different things. So I enjoyed that as well. But like Power, I really like the show already. That so like, say if you're doing something you already like or enjoy, it makes it a lot better. But it's 12, 13-hour days, and
Mhm.
it was when we filmed Force, it was in the winter time, and it was at the Joliet State Prison, which
Mhm.
is now closed. So it was no heat, there's no air, no lighting. They had like projector lights, and it was freezing in there. And
Wow.
they're
Oh wow.
giving me hand warmers and stuff. And so when you see people in there walking around, it's freezing in there. It just looks like it's normal. That's acting.
Mhm.
Everybody was cold, different things.
Wow.
Oh, they gave me a bunch of hand warmers. I started passing it out to my other inmates. So, now they
Mhm.
with me. You stick with me, your hands always stay warm.
Look, Sambaza, you gotta watch it. You're not a powerhead, so
By the way, I used to watch it in the beginning. Then
okay.
somewhere
All
along
right.
the line, it just kind of it became too much. But I'll
I
go back
get
to
it.
it. I'll go back to it. Now that you've given me some interesting antidotes to go watch out for. There was somebody who asked, and I think we glazed off of this. Was there a difference between working at times and power? Those two roles, because one you're playing, yeah, one role, and the other one playing a different role.
Yeah, I mean, it was a mentality. So, Power, I wasn't supposed to be smiling. It wasn't nothing funny. Whereas
Mhm.
at the other, it was closer to my personality. We was
Mm.
joke in office and things. I used to have office jobs and stuff and joke with my coworkers and things. So that was something closer to me. A lot of people that saw that said, "Man, that was just like you." I was like natural. So that was closer to me, but it wasn't that it wasn't fun, and I did like it. And it was produced by, I believe it was Lily Wachowski,
Mhm.
creators of The Matrix.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so she was there. And I wish I would have had more time to actually pick her brain about some of that stuff. But I do remember that I was waiting on my ride to come, and we was outside, and it's something that me and my son laughed about and joked about later. But we was on the court. Now Lily Wachowski, the Wachowski the Wachowskis created the Matrix. They both have a net worth of at least 150 million apiece.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 150 million apiece.
Wow.
Okay. And I'm sitting there on the corner waiting on my ride in front of the building because they would have a ride, pick me up and take me back. And while we were standing there, they was a little behind me and they were talking, and it was like, ooh. And we looked and it was like, I found a quarter. And then my son bust up laughing like, man, what?
Wow.
I mean, for real. Ooh, I found a quarter. Like, you would have thought it was $1 million or something. How happy they were. Like, what? And then somebody came out and they showed us like, hey, I found a quarter. I'm like, I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody worth 150 million, so they picked that quarter up.
Hey,
I wouldn't have. And I ain't got nothing. I need to rub two of them together.
Okay, look, me too.
Right, I went past. I was there first. I didn't even see it.
Wow.
I'm closer to the ground.
Oh, wow.
It was like, ooh, a quarter. It's like a quarter.
That's very interesting.
With a quarter.
Look, that's why they got their millions. Okay.
Hey, for real. They were producing the show. They were the executive producer. So
yeah. So I have this question regarding comedy, especially with the importance of representation, right? How do you regard the importance of comedy and the media regarding individuals with disabilities?
I
Maybe.
think. Okay, yeah, I think that's very important because comedy is a lot of ways the best way to tell the truth. Sometimes to power or to people, or like they say, get the medicine, the spoonful of sugar or whatever. And so I think that's one of the good things about Dave Chappelle, even though it could be he doesn't. Some will say he punching down a dude. I don't see it that way. I see he brings light to sensitive topics in a interesting way, you know. And so it's a job as a comedian to make you laugh first, but also it make you think about something as well. You know, a lot of people don't think about some things until maybe it's brought to their attention. It's not that they are misogynist or, you know, against people in wheelchairs or this or that. They just may not have thought. We got a lot going on, you know. And so one of the things I like to do, because you can't just say, like a lot of people get upset with the so-called movement of people with saying don't do this, don't do that, but it's better if you can explain things in a way instead of preaching or yelling. And if it's even funny, then that's even better. Then people may be more prone to listening. And so I just try to tell my experience of things. And then by me, never being sick, never being injured. And then at 33, now I had to go through this. So I live in a way a whole life of not thinking of certain things and living a certain way. And now I got a different aspect that I see that I missed or a lot of people don't think about. So I try to, you know, bring that unique perspective because I wasn't born this way. And, you know, I try to let it know, hey, it could happen to anybody, you know. So that's all. I mean, not to say it as in it could happen to you. So, you know, be, you know, scared or treat this or that. No, but just keep in mind, we don't know how life turns out. And I used to always watch movies. I think we all live like our own little movie, or we all our own little main character. And I would watch movies or hear about shows or things. And this person was living their life, and then bang, this happened, or they were shot. And I would think, man, did they know that was their last day? Like, people don't know. Like, you do not know. You woke up and that was gonna be your last day. You do not know. You know, I didn't know that I would get into a car accident that day. I had no clue. It was no signs. So you don't know. We make plans. We try this. We make all the precautions, and that's what we can do. And the rest we don't know.
And Jay, you mentioned the accident, and you talk about it in your content. I've seen you talk about it before. would you say is like the one thing that you've learned? I think you've actually showed us today that it has not held you back. You pursued this acting career,
Got my food.
you know what?
I dropped my plate of food today. Shoot.
I'm sorry.
That ain't work. But
Oh,
no, one of the things, I always wear my seatbelt now.
okay.
Try to save the last half I got left.
I
But
know that's right.
yeah. So that's the thing. Sometimes people say, "Oh well, what about God?" or whatever the case, and I look at it as we have choices, and that's like saying you're not responsible for your actions you take. Like I'm the one that chose to buy that car or chose to go down that street, or I chose not to put on the seatbelt. I was 33. I know the rules. I chose not to. I chose to give that person a ride. I could have said no. I chose to do so. Like, I can't then say because of the choices I made, oh, how could you do this? You did this or that. Like, I made those choices.
Mm-hmm.
So, not to say everything that happens is your choice, but some things are your choice, and you had to take responsibility and try to learn from it if you lucky enough to.
Absolutely.
Earlier today, somebody asked me when I was doing that live stream, what did Jesus do for you? Which I mean, we don't know what may or may not be done for us all the time, but that could have been the end in that accident.
Absolutely.
True.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad you're still with us.
Glad you're here, man.
Yeah.
It's been different. We would not have been having this conversation with you today.
that's
Absolutely.
true. And my son was just 7.
Mm.
That was 13 years ago. So a lot happened, now not everything been the greatest and but still here. And I don't know. I'm not gonna say it was because of this or not because of that. Just
Right.
like they say, things work in mysterious ways. So that's what all the faith is about. People put faith in all kind of stuff. People don't really put faith in science. How you know how long a rock 10 million, 10 billion years? You believe it in that science? You believe in the Big Bang? You believe in all this stuff? You got to believe in it.
Mm.
Yep.
So
Right.
everything requires some belief.
That's right. That's right.
And we got somebody said here on the chats, pocket full of De Niro beats says, I'm guilty of talking myself out of good opportunities, right? And we got
Man.
about the wallet. About the wallet is here today saying happy Wednesday.
Hey.
About that wallet. I know that's right. And the bread
So
come
Jay,
first.
I was going to ask you about your legacy, and you already put it in context and talked about how you want your legacy to be. Um, Throughout this talk, you've just been expressing everything else about how you want people to view you, how you want people to know about you, and also, you took us back in your history of how you grew up and everything. And I believe there's a lot of learning that we have from you right now as we are going through the show. Um, the thing that I wanted to ask of you is tell our listeners or our viewers how something that we can follow. Oh, I see you got. Oh, okay, we got that.
I'm getting hot over here. Yeah. Woo. Turning the air on pretty soon.
Word of advice to our customers, not customers, our listeners and viewers, and where they can follow you and support your work because you have an amazing work out there.
Well, thank you. I try. Me, I don't think about a legacy or any of that. That's I guess for other people to decide. And in the end, you can't really control that anyway. I mean, what did George Washington think? It don't matter, does it? Because whatever we think is what matters, doesn't it? So it don't matter what he think. If people want to take his statue down or whatever, I mean, hey, you could have a statue one day and they could be taking it down the next.
That's true.
Yeah, so I look at it as, man, that's for the people to decide, whoever even know who I am or care. But I just try to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, not
Right.
because somebody watching. I know we only got a little bit of time here, and I would like to think it's something else going. I don't want to think that's it and go in the dirt or that's it. I would like to think it's a better place and better stuff, and I like to get accepted. But
Oh,
also,
that's great.
yeah, but also I don't do it just to get my card punched membership. But I don't like to do somebody wrong either. I don't want to see anybody wrong or something because of what I did. I ripped them off or I hurt their feelings or beat them up or did these. I don't want to do those things. So I don't want to do that. So I just try to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, and try to look at the bright side of things because the only guarantee for all of us is that we're going to go through some adversity, and the only difference is how we handle it. And so, not to say I ain't cried or got upset or yelled and frustrated because I have, but I try to find the humor, and I'd rather laugh than do all of that. I'd rather try to find something to smile about or laugh it off, or if I am saying it in a humorous way, than be upset or emotional and things. I think it's laughter is some of the best medicine.
Oh yeah.
I've been down sometimes, and a friend made me laugh, and you can have a tear in your eye, and you, man, you stupid.
Yes, definitely been there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'd rather have that than
Okay. Awesome. And so we're gonna go to your socials, where we can find you at.
Well, I keep it real simple. It's J Moore Reviews, and that's everywhere on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Instagram, you got to put an underscore between the names.
Okay.
And Twitter and all of that stuff. Yeah, got all that stuff. So yeah, X, or I mean not X, TikTok. X too, but see, so I've been doing this so that I've seen a change. And so one of the changes I've seen is that now these platforms are monetizing creators.
Yes.
Not necessarily we getting our stuff monetized. No. They're taking your money. Because see, I used to work at small business startups. And so it's lists that we used to buy because I used to work at merchant processing. 90% of small businesses fail. It's the same with this. These are small business. 90% aren't going to get the traction or make money, but you have to pay to stream on this platform. You have to pay to use this software. You have to pay to be on X. You got to pay to do this. You got to pay to promote, pay this. And then you're paying all this money and you may not even make any. And you didn't have to pay for none of this stuff when I first started. It was none of this pay to be on the X. It was no StreamYard paying to be on this. It was no paying to be on. It was none of this. It was just open and free. You were able to use these things and promote and stream and do that. And they were paying you some, or they weren't paying you at all, but they weren't charging you. And now almost everything wants some money. Yeah. Every app, every program, it was editing apps I was using that didn't cost. Now all of these costs. It's like everything, they want some money, and they figured out it's a world of people that want to be creators, and we'll take their money before we give them anything. And that's been a turn off to me,
Okay.
Been a turn off to me with that.
But at least we know where to get you, and all the listeners and the viewers that will come on later, they can be able to find you out. And shout out to the people who join us on Clubhouse.
I see. I never heard of Clubhouse, but I have to check that out.
Yeah.
I see about that wallet. I like that name. It said, what societal problems do you want to solve before you go? Well, I'm already realized I'm not solving nothing. Nobody listening. Nobody taking my advice. It's hard to get your kids to listen. Okay, on society. I already realized that. I've been in management and things, and it's hard to get people you're paying to do stuff. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's hard to get them that love you, your parents or family. It's hard to get my dad to do stuff. Okay, he would turn the light off all night long. Okay, he would have made me come down from the third floor to go all the way to the basement to turn off a little laundry light, but let him leave all 3, 4 on there. What? And he got a remote control. He just push the button. He ain't got to get up. Still don't do it.
Oh Lord.
If I could, let's just play this game.
Oh gosh.
If somebody actually listened to me and I could,
yeah,
I'm going to say the one thing I think could make a big difference in this country. You got to get money out of politics. You got to get money out of politics. You can't have these people hijacking this country's democracy, paying money, both sides. They can't be paid by corporations when they're basically, who you working for? You working for us when we pay you $100,000, or you working for them that's giving you 25 million campaign contributions? We got to stop. Just make them be able to advertise for free on TV and stuff. Now they don't need to raise no more money. Get that out of here. You know, maybe they don't need to raise as much or whatever. We got to get that out, because it's basically we've been bought out. And a lot of protections that we need, a lot of what the schools need to be. Because if you get that out, then we can vote people that need to do the job and then hold them accountable, and they work for us, not them. You need schools refunded, or, you know, stop with the gerrymandering, or, you know, do this, or clean water, clean air, you know, stop with this, that. They don't do it because they don't work for us. They don't work for us. Who you work for? I'm gonna give you 25 million, and Sambaza gonna give you 200. Who you work for? And that's basically what's happening. What you comparing, and, you know, and then they get all this insider information, which, you know, legally they can trade stocks and do, but who they work for? So they don't work for us. They don't. And I can't stand when I hear people talk about, well, the left is doing this, or what the right is doing. No, neither one work for us. They don't. Yeah, maybe one side maybe want this, or the other side, whatever. They still don't work for us. And that's the main problem. Like, we need people work for us, not them. Like, we can't have them, you know, doing that. So
right, it's definitely a follow the money situation.
Man, I mean, and you don't have to follow far. He's standing in the White House next to him. His son said, "That's my daddy's seat."
Oh, hello. Oh wow.
I know if my son would have said that, I know what that meant. Like, I'll tell you a story of that. I still remember this to this day because it was shocking to me. All right, my son was about two or three. He could walk and he could talk. He was about 2, but his intellect, I didn't even think of. I didn't even think of him with a personality like yet. And so possessions and stuff. Anyway, I went to the car dealership. I was buying a new car. I was trading in my car, and I had a Park Avenue. And that's the car he always rode in his whole life. You know, he was only like 2 or whatever, but I had it. Anyway, he's standing next to me. I'm talking to the dealer, and I'm getting ready to get another car. And one of the guys got in my car to test drive it, and he was looking, and he ran to my leg and tapped my leg. He said, "Ooh, Daddy, they stealing your car." I was laughing. He said that. First of all, I didn't think he thought that's your daddy car. I didn't think he thought nothing like that. I thought he just thought that's the car I ride in with my dad. I didn't think that, let alone thief, stealing.
Yeah.
Concept, they're stealing from you. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So when he said, "You in my daddy's chair," he's recognizing at a child's level, my daddy has the power in this relationship.
Oh, gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Whenever I see my daddy talking to you, he's talking to you or talking down to you. Like, you're not his subordinate. And I've never seen my daddy being talked that way. He's always the boss. Where my daddy sits whenever I'm at his office, he's there in the chair. So it's not that chair, it's that my daddy is the one behind the desk all the time. Who are you?
Yeah, that's
You
deep.
know?
That's deep.
Yeah, that's real deep. Like they say, from the mouths of babes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So he recognized at a basic human level, my daddy is more powerful than you. Who are you? I know, right? That's why I looked at him like, you little mother.
Wow. I know he was thinking that.
I might not have thought like that if that didn't happen to me and made me think of, like I told you, I like the way people think. If I would have did it differently, I might have been a psychiatrist or something. Psychologist if I'd have did, or an architect, because I love architect and building. I still think about being an architect to this day and going to do it. Because the main deterrent was math for me. That was my weak spot. And drawing. And so you had to be able to have the graphs and draw. And then, although they did have graphing tables and stuff, and then the math and stuff. So that was a detraction for me from that. But with computers, I can do amazing stuff now with the and the graphs and doing the math and things, that I can design a lot of things now that I wouldn't have been able to before. So, but still, who gonna hire me? I'd have to get some type of certification, degrees and things, which takes time and money and things, and talking myself out of it. See that? Your own worst enemy. I did it right there live.
All right.
That's how it happens. We do it all the time.
Talk yourself out of it. Yep.
I do. And next thing you know, I'm gonna be 50 still saying it.
But look, I just think about the things that you have accomplished, like this acting career, the stand-up career. I mean, I'm inspired by that alone. Like, that's awesome.
That's a whole lot, yeah.
Well, I'll try. Stay
busy. And you should be proud of that. I mean, you kind of let this slide, but no, we're not gonna let you.
What's it called? Modest. He's being modest.
Yes, he is. But that's super.
Some people just have that one, that extra that just walks through. Man, they be milking it. You see me? Watch.
Yeah, no, I don't see it that way. And even if I was, say, on a Will Smith level, if I, of course, at myself, with my background in history, I wouldn't feel that way, because I've seen people doing good, seen people doing bad, the same person sometimes, and where you are now, you could be, down at the bottom, and you gotta, put your clothes on like everybody else and use the bathroom. And we all, so yeah, and you can't beat up everybody, and you ain't the best looking or the richest or none of that, or the strongest or the, so
look,
I had
absolutely.
So I've been humbled a lot in life. Even before being injured, I wouldn't have said, oh, I'm this, I'm that, No, even coming from Chicago, you get humbled. You don't have the most money, or you're not the most talented, you're not the best looking, you're not this and that. And truth is, nobody really is. And nobody can really, that doesn't mean to look at the richest man. You think he cool? You see that video of him walking in the factory?
Not happy.
Yo. Man, you walk like a robot or something.
Oh God! But you should treat. And I personally try to live like this. You treat everybody from the CEO or the janitor, with respect. You say good morning wherever
That's very true. My teacher in high school actually taught me that, and I put that in principle when I had this one job in sales. And it was a guy that used to come to the office. He was a traveling shoe shine guy, and he would come to shine our shoes. And so a lot of the executives and people there didn't think much of him, didn't talk to him really like that, like a real conversation, or, whatever the case. and I would talk to him and things. This dude had more money than all of us. And he wanted to tell me about Roth IRA. And this is in the year 2000, 1995 to 2000. And he was saying invest. He owned his own business. He would go to all the office, think of all those office buildings. Then he would go while they're there at work, shining the shoes, each one of them $20 here, $50 there. He was making $500 a day.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe
shining shoes. He'd go once a week to different offices, all those buildings in Chicago, downtown. And he was all the way in North Oak Brook on the north suburbs. So he could go all over the city, all these offices. And he was making a killing, and he was smart with his money, investing in different things. And they looked at the shine guy, but he was smart. He taught me more than them. So, yeah, you never know who you can be talking to and what you can learn from somebody. If anything, you can learn what not to do. Hey, what's up?
Absolutely.
And I'm shining shoes because I had a job. I was on cocaine. All right, don't do that.
I was just thinking.
Hey, either way, you're gonna learn something. You know what I mean?
Right. There you go.
Before we hit the end of the show, there's two comments I want to put in from Damien. He says the best way to solve problems is not to contribute to them. And the other thing he's saying, math was my weak point. I like the way he said it. Math was my weak point. Not what he did not like it or anything like that. It was my weak point as well. But I got an engineering degree. Shout outs to you. When I found out the salary engineers make.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hey, man. I knew how much they make. I just didn't know how to get around that weak spot. But I did have plans. And I say one of another weak areas I had is as I was younger, I guess looking for an older brother or a mentor or somebody to be around, but not realizing it. I kind of let friends have a little more influence on some of my decisions. And so I should have stayed and finished at school where I was at. And instead, I went with my friends to Ohio, which it was a good experience and things, but I should have just finished what I was doing and got it over with. But, you know, you live and you learn. So, yeah. But,
absolutely.
Yeah, I wish I'd have been a little more independent. And also some bad advice I got. Like, I won't say it's bad advice. When you ask a person advice, you asking them pretty much, what would they do? Okay, that's fine. Get that, but then still do what you want to do. And even if it's your parents or whatever, because everybody have a different mentality. They may think it's safer to work a job and retire or do this or that, or some people think go out. So just take everything, know the source and understand where they're coming from. Because I had a chance to own a business, a cleaners. I know it sound like much, but it was with another businesswoman who owns multiple daycares. It was downtown Chicago. It was making decent money, about $300-$400 a day, but we weren't really putting in the effort that we could have. And if I would have been on the line, I would have really put in more effort. But and she a multi-millionaire and great businesswoman. She has multiple locations, and I could have been right there with her. You know, these are schools, daycares with 100+ students, so that's always customers coming right back and forth in front of your place. And I could have bought in at the time for like $1,500.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but in their eyes, that ain't a good thing. They're not entrepreneurial business all the time necessarily. So it was good. But at that point in my life at 21, that $1,500 was worth either losing or making something happen. It wasn't like I had kids and bills and I'm about to be on the street. That's all I got, you know. So take a risk when you're young.
Absolutely.
And follow the dreams and make it happen. Because the older you get, the harder it gets. You know, you can't sleep on nobody's couch. You in your 40s.
Can't do that.
That ain't cool. You know, I mean,
try not to.
Yeah, nobody feels sorry for your old ass. Get out of here. Go to work. You in your 20s, all right, he figuring it out. Go ahead, get a job, do this, do that. You got some leeway still. So it just get harder as you older, though.
This is true. This is true.
Man, we appreciate everything you've given us today, all the gems and the funny jokes and the knowledge that you prepared for us.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you that you shedded some light on some things that I had never even thought about. And it was great to have you on the show today.
Appreciate
blessing.
it.
And Jen, I think this is about the time when we say, "Take me home." Take us home.
All right. And Jay, stay with us for the proper goodbye. But we thank everyone for joining us. We appreciate this conversation that we had. We hope that it has inspired you guys and that you found it meaningful. We invite you to share it with friends and family, catch the replay. Our collective awareness and advocacy play a crucial role in creating positive change. Stay tuned for more engaging content, and we look forward to continuing these important conversations in the future. Stick around.
I appreciate it for y'all having me. Come back. I see you got the Kenyan flag there.
All the time.
Represent. I would get an American flag, but that's about as bad as the Confederate flag.
Oh, Lord.
That's actually, I know you're trying to wrap up. I'll say one thing.
Yeah.
From Kenya and we African Americans, sometimes people say it's a rift from Africans from the mainland versus African Americans. And I think one of the problems is we don't really have a home. And I think that's part of the problems why we get treated the way we do here, because we don't know Africa anymore. We don't necessarily know. I've been seeing YouTube videos that they are welcoming African Americans and they want African Americans to come back to certain places to do things with intellectual, because we have the, schooling and different things we can do. But a lot of us don't know that. And so I think a lot of if you treat Asian, Chinese people bad, they can go to China or they got a country to support them, or all these other countries, whether it's good or bad, but we don't feel like we have a place necessarily. So, I don't know.
Touched something there, my wife. You just touched something. I'm gonna leave it at that. Just touched something.
Oh, that was some good food to munch on. Look, Jay gonna come with it now, okay? Jay is always gonna come with it.
I'm like Professor X. In more ways than one.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thank you again, Jay. Stay with us, and everyone else, take care. Jay, more reviews. At this time, we're going to go ahead and conclude the episode. We greatly appreciate you listening. We invite you to follow us on social media. On Instagram, it is Woke by Accident Podcast. On Twitter, it is Woke by. On Facebook, it is Woke by Accident Podcast. We also have the new website up, www.wokebyaccident.net. Please check us out. And also follow us on all of your favorite streaming platforms. And please leave a review and share feedback. You can also reach out by Gmail, wokebyaccident@gmail.com. And every time you listen, we appreciate it so much. Thank you for listening and take care.